the elders said this. They said the spiritual dimension of development is inescapable. You cannot build healthy communities on lies and greed and selfishness. They have to be built on kindness, compassion, forgiveness, respect, justice. That's the foundation.
Please continue watching for The Spiritual Dimension of Development is Inescapable, a message of healing from the Native American Chief Phil Lane Jr., Veg Advocate, on the world around us.
Taya Yahipi, benevolent viewers. Taya Yahipi means welcome in Lakota Sioux, a language of the Siouan language family in the North American Great Plains region. I'm Caton. The spiritually preserving people of the Great Sioux Nation wish your souls find upliftment in the comfort of the divine. Welcome to The Spiritual Dimension of Development is Inescapable, a message of healing from the Native American Chief Phil Lane Jr., Veg Advocate, on the world around us. The Honorable Hereditary Chief Phil Lane Jr. is a member of the Ihanktonwan, Dakota, and Chickasaw nations. He is formally recognized by elders from across North America as a hereditary chief, owing to his noble lineage of leadership and long-time service to Indigenous peoples and greater humanity. In 1982, he founded the Four Worlds International Institute, or FWII, which has become an international leader in the holistic development of Indigenous communities. With a master's degree in education and public administration, Chief Lane also served as a university professor and government consultant, among other distinguished positions. He has also produced and/or was featured in award-winning documentaries. For his tireless contributions, Chief Lane has received many awards, such as the Windstar Award and the Swiss Foundation for Freedom and Human Rights International Award. Today, we are privileged to introduce the Honorable Chief Phil Lane Jr., who will share some of his personal experiences, which led him on the path of unbounded wisdom, beautifully linked with Native American prophecies about a new revival, giving hope not just to Native American nations, but also to the world as a whole.
Okay, I'm going to say a prayer first. O Tinkashla Pingabashla Michante Washdale, O Tinkashla Waranki, Tinkashla Yate Kila Wakunda Kashla. O Wakantaka, Creator of the universe, most beloved one, all-powerful one, most kind one, most compassionate one, ever forgiving one, most beloved one, ever unifying one, oh, most beauteous one. We call upon all our ancestors and beloved ones who have passed on to the spiritual worlds beyond, and the most holy power of this universe that has created all things, to come here and to bless us, to share just the right words with all our relatives, from all parts of our Mother Earth. And we give thanksgiving to our Supreme Master Television for being able to share these messages. Hallelujah, Shante Vashte. The Four Worlds International Institute goes way, way, way back and deep in our prophecies. And it really began when my life changed in 1967, when my heart was so full of anger and hatred about what had happened to our people here. All people, really, all members of our human family that have been needlessly hurt and killed, and you can't have that. And so that led me really into a life of trying to kill that pain with alcohol and something like that. But I encountered a very sacred, very, very sacred prayer. And that was like fire started burning inside me. And I'm sure we all have that spiritual awakening, that time when we awaken and understand and feel oneness. Then I had the opportunity in 1980, after working for 10 years with Indigenous peoples, really right at the heart of what was going on, in building what we call the Daybreak Star Center in Seattle, Washington. And so I was responsible there for helping to build that. By 1982, in Turtle Island, it's now called Canada, the United States, both culturally and physically, our Indigenous people had fallen into a deep, 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 deep pain, deep alcoholism. And so we were really at a point of suffering, but we knew in our prophecies that would be a huge turning point, but there were signs on the way. One of the prophecies says, when the time comes to begin to arise, you shall see an eagle fly to the moon and land. Of course, 1969, the spaceship called the Eagle landed on the moon, and the very first words transmitted to Mother Earth, to the human family, was, the Eagle has landed. These prophecies are shared from the Inuit to the Arctic, in different places all across the Americas. So we knew our time had come. The winter time was over. The time of preparation had been finished, and we were ready to begin to arise. So in 1982, we were approached by the new director of what they call the National Native Alcohol and Drug Abuse Program in Canada, NNADAP. And we wanted to bring, never before, a council together and to ask them the question, how can we come out of this deep, deep, deep hole we're in of darkness? The elders said this. They said the moral, the spiritual dimension of development is inescapable. You cannot build healthy communities, healthy nations, healthy families, healthy human beings on lies and greed and selfishness. They have to be built on kindness, compassion, forgiveness, respect, justice. That's the foundation.
After initiating the first council of elders of its kind, Chief Lane succeeded in helping many Native communities turn to a more wholesome way of life.
The last two gatherings in 1994 and 1995 resulted in what we call 16 principles for building a sustainable and harmonious world. And so today, I can say that we have networks everywhere in the world. We can see many of our communities. In the first one to achieve this, there's a beautiful film called The Honor of All, The Story of Alkali Lake. It went from 100% alcoholism, from 9 years old to the oldest elder, to almost 95% sobriety. That was achieved by 1985. Many more are rising. Many of our communities are 80, 90% free of alcohol. I mean, from alcoholism now, free, getting strong, uniting all across the Americas.
For the past 5 decades, Chief Lane has also been working with Indigenous peoples in Africa, the Americas, India, Micronesia, Southeast Asia, and other regions to support them in areas such as reconciliation, sustainable economic development, and gender equality. His ultimate goal is the unity of humankind, the unity prophesied since ancient times. For more details on Chief Phil Lane Jr. and the Four Worlds International Institute, please visit fwii.net. Compassionate viewers, it was an honor to have your presence for today's program. The spiritual dimension of development is inescapable. A message of healing from the Native American Chief Phil Lane Jr., Veg advocate, on the world around us. Coming up next is Supreme Master Ching Hai, Vegan, on the Harmful Effects of Meat, Part 16, Distorting the Teachings of Saints, right after Noteworthy News. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television for more constructive programming. May your innocent hearts enjoy eternal bliss in celestial peace and harmony.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/WAU.